Yeah, because I can't even read that. Thank you.
All right, next up are the Miami Hurricanes, represented by head coach Katie Meyer, student athletes Kelsey Marshall and Mayava Zizaldi Tabdi. Coach, if you would, please make an opening statement.
Just, great turnout by the fans and the community. It really fueled them. I'm really, I've been in the business long enough to take a pause and look up and just say, wow, this is pretty amazing. This much love, this much support, and it's happening all across the country now. So I think it's fantastic. I know it probably wasn't the best offensive display for the network TV to show, but if you don't think women compete, I think we might have changed your mind. I mean, that was just a bunch of competitors out there that were playing as hard and as gritty and as tough as you can ever play. And so I think that in to be there in person and to see how much of an effort it took on both squads, and to just be standing on the floor and seeing those bodies and that effort and that passion and that grit. I mean, it was really, really hard, but it was really, really impressive too. It was unbelievable. And I think we were trying to match punch for punch, and obviously we didn't, but certainly not at all are we hanging our heads. Not at one bit. If you didn't understand the grit and the character of our team, I think we proved that today. South Carolina, tons of credit to them. Tons of credit to their patience on offense. They didn't have a great offensive day, but I think Miami got frustrated before South Carolina did, and that was the difference. Neither team was going to score 100 points, and it wasn't going to be like that. But we got frustrated first, and that surprised me because we've played games where we were 45, 46. It shouldn't have upset us, but it did, and they never seemed upset. They seemed prepared for it and very composed. And I think that second quarter we got a little emotional, and then we gathered ourselves. And I'll take those other 3 quarters. I will. It was going to be that hard against anybody to score. Second quarter's the only quarter I thought, wow. And I think they did a fantastic job on the defensive end of preparing and scouting. But I thought we did a fantastic job as well. So they're a great team. They're so hard to score against. I wasn't frustrated because I was watching film for 2 days going, wow, this is going to be hard. And I thought we had to I said we had to hit 13 threes to win, and we had to be prepared to take 13 to make 13 threes, and we didn't. We only hit 5, but at a certain point you got to shoot over them because they're very, very good, and they're very, very connected on the defensive end.
Open up for questions for the student athletes. If you raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. We'll go here in the front row.
I guess for both of y'all, like we're just talking about just that frustration setting in, I guess, what do you say to each other or within yourselves to kind of try to get over that when those shots aren't falling?
Kelsey, you want to go first?
The whole game we just, we got a little rattled. I'm not going to lie, we were all screaming at each other at one point, but then we started to settle down, and that's when we started to score a little bit more. But we always try to feed positivity to each other, try to stay confident, and, encourage each other to make the next shot that we take.
Mayava?
She said everything.
Let's go over here to Corey.
Kelsey, I know you obviously watched film on South Carolina defensively as well, but in the heat of the moment, in the battle, were you just surprised at the footwork of their bigs and just them being able to rotate and switch like they did and kind of keep you guys from being able to drive the paint pretty efficiently? Was that just kind of surprising to kind of see in the moment in person?
I wasn't really surprised. I was expecting it. We try to prepare, days before in practice to, jump stop when we get inside the paint and look for our teammates out on the three-point. But, every time we got there, either, the people on the three-point line were being denied, or we traveled and turned the ball over. So we weren't really surprised. Just, they're just a really good defensive team.
Matt?
On the other end, you guys really stunted their offense. You don't see the South Carolina team only score 49 points. And what were you guys able to do defensively to frustrate them on their offense?
Kelsey?
We just try to pack the paint. They're not really a shooting team. They score more of their points inside the paint. So we just try to, pack inside the paint and make their layups more difficult than usual.
Mayava?
I think we tried to hold the bigs as much as we could because their main player is Boston, and I think the main thing is that they get too many offensive rebounds, and that's how it banned us, kinda. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We try to do as much as we could, and we try to stick to the game plan, and yeah, that's it.
Other questions back in the front row?
I have a kind of a two-parter for you with Coach talking about those three-pointers. I guess how much of that, with you hitting 5, was it a concerted effort, or are you just not finding things inside?
I think that our game, we talked about with the coach and stuff, and the bigs, when we stayed screens, and the bigs often stayed low. So because I can shoot the 3, we decided that I should pop and take it because I can shoot it. And obviously, if I had more things open in the paint, I would have taken it, but I didn't today. So that's where I found my threes.
And then also with defending Aaliyah and Camilla and a lot of those girls who have those size, what was that like for you and just kind of those battles down low?
It was great. It was great. It's good to play against really good players, and I respect them a lot. I learned from this game, obviously, and it's gonna be useful for later on in my life. So yeah.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, you guys can go. Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll open up for questions for Coach Meyer. Let's go with Corey.
Katie, I'll kind of ask you the same question too. Just in the game, in the moment, in the battle, seeing Aaliyah and Camilla and Victoria's ability to be able to switch and keep the guards basically almost outside of the
Yeah.
paint. Was that surprising to just kind of see in person?
It was, and I think that the thing you got to realize is, so if they switch and the big's on a guard, then as a coach, you're like, okay, well, we'll have the mismatch on the post, okay, but you don't against them. So it's very smart of them to do that, to switch their length out, because we didn't have, it's not like Bree Beal's 5'4", right? So we saw it, we understood it. That's what basketball tells you to do, but you got to coach what you see. And the 2 times that we tried to throw it in there, they tipped the pass with their size. So they did a really nice job on that. You need a multi-level guard that can score in what we call the drag zone a little bit more to beat them, and you need posts that can hit the threes. And we did part A of it, but I think we were either 3 or key with our guards, and that's not the read that you need to make. You need to be able to throw them back a little bit, and then you got to shoot over like a really high soft. I mean, it's a tough shot, and that's the shot that they're gonna give you if they do that scheme. And because I thought they protected, there wasn't a mismatch though. I mean, do you know how big they are? You see how big they are, right? So where's the advantage? They switch out on our 5'6" point guard, and we try to roll down a 6'2" wing with our 6'1" forward player. I mean, we really didn't have an advantage, so it was really, really good defense on their part.
Jeffrey?
Is it frustrating that you're able to put in the one component of your game plan, you're able to hold Boston down, you're able to
Right.
pack the zone, but you couldn't get the other part together, enough offense generated to be able to make this score closer?
Yeah, well, I do something where when I get the game plan on, and I go and I kind of lock in, get in a bubble, and come up with these how to beats, right? And we share it all on the day. And I wrote my staff about 8:30 last night. I said, I'm still working on it, right? Still working on the how to beats. You got to be really, really creative unless you can take advantage of some of the mismatches. And, when Zaya Cook got in foul trouble, everybody was like, yeah. I was like, well, that just adds more length. I mean, literally, that just put in bigger players. So was that great for us or not? It was great maybe on the defensive end, right? But on the offensive end, that was one of my plans, was Zaya, right? And I don't want to say exactly what it would have been, but then she was out and everyone celebrated. I was like, okay, well, now it's going to be even harder to get in there. So that was something that happened in the game that I would say was a little bit, like, if you really thought about a wrinkle there, that was a tough one.
Let's go middle.
Katie, you mentioned those mismatches. I guess how would you just describe the way Destiny was able to, do her best against Aaliyah with that size difference?
That Destiny Harden
Mm-hmm.
against Aaliyah? Okay. That didn't happen as much, I thought. I thought Lola and Maeva were incredible. I mean, Maeva was the leading scorer in this game, right? I mean, she's got a great body. I think the kid's a pro. I really do. I mean, she's got a great body. She's got a great skill set. Her IQ, was the most composed of anyone on our team. And I thought she showed out really, really well today. But there were some incredible, like our bigs, but we were helping down for sure. And that's where I think Destiny did a great job. But it was, when they went double big, I'm shocked that they only had 8 second chance points. I would like call and say, could we watch this box score again? Because it seemed like more. If they only had 8 second chance points, you've got to really tip your hat to our interior defense, because they had a ton of offensive rebounds. So I'm surprised they only turned them into 8 points. Yeah, that surprised me.
And then with that stretch there of, struggling to get those field goals, what were you saying to them to, keep them motivated and keep them, keep trying to end that scoring drought?
Yeah, we had that same kind of a feel against NC State, and I thought we had learned our lesson already, because we definitely, without question, Kelsey referred to it, we definitely were wanting to get a little bit blaming of each other there. So, I had to be, Mama Bear and say, you're okay, come here. I'd rather be yelling at them, right? But they're yelling at each other, then I gotta switch. I gotta calm down and get them back in it and give them confidence and everything else. But I think we're much better when I was yelling at them. when they were fine and they were composed and I get to yell. We're better there. That's a better formula for Miami.
Any other questions for Coach? Good. All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Is there anybody from Miami here that wants to take these? They all gone? Nice souvenirs to have. What's that? Yeah, yes. Okay, you take it. Thank you.